Welcome to another INN CEO Talks. In this episode, we're talking to Alex Sukernick, the CEO and president of Nova Royalty, which trades on the TSX Venture under the symbol NOVR. And you can find out more about the company at its website, novaroyalty.com. So Nova Royalty is focused on royalty opportunities in commodities in the green economy, commodities that are going to be needed in great abundance. And as the world transitions away from carbon-based energy, it is also racing towards sustainable sources of very vital compounds that will be the building blocks of the green economy. Copper and nickel are two essential metals. The demand for both in the world is going crazy as it goes crazy for electric and solar, and they're only going to increase. Joining me now is Alex Sukernick. Alex, the transition to the green economy, it's a whole new world of opportunities, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's literally a whole new world. Yeah, I think all of us are living through this transition right now, and I think anyone today who says they saw this coming 10 years ago, maybe 1% of them are right. I think the
Right.
other I think the other 99% are just seeing what's happening, and I think doing their best to kind of participate in everything that's going on. And I think we as a company are a part of that. So I grew up. I have a finance background, and then I got into mining and very old world mining initially. And then somewhere in the mid 2010s, it became apparent to me that something was changing that was fundamental. And so kind of I think step by step we gravitated to this theme, and we started Nova in 2018. To really focus on what we thought were going to be the building blocks of this whole thing. And
Mm-hmm.
when you do the work and you see what's required, you really see that's very much of a copper story. That's by far, I think, the most dominant commodity in this whole thing.
Yeah, I think,
And nickel.
yeah.
Go
I
ahead.
think you're absolutely right. When you take a look at what the demand for copper is, and it's not just a North American demand, it's going to be in Europe. We already see it in China. Anywhere that there is this move towards the electrification of virtually everything, you can't do without copper.
No, listen, that's your core commodity, whether it's wind farms, solar panels, electric cars infrastructure such as charging stations, copper, and more copper. And then
Yeah,
once you walk inside the battery, that's nickel. So you look
yeah.
at your sort of you look at the batteries. They're called lithium ion for some reason, but they're really nickel batteries when you actually look at the
Right.
composition. And so, look, we took a look at the whole thing. We said, this is the copper story with a great add-on of nickel, and we couldn't really find anything else that was interesting.
So, can you tell us about the properties that you are focused on, that you're invested in from a royalties perspective?
Absolutely. So if you look at the copper nickel businesses, they're extremely capital intensive. You really don't have sort of a visible class of small mines. That's sort of when you look at the sort of real additions to world copper and nickel supply, especially copper, it's going to come from the mega mines. And so, we had an opportunity when we started the company quite early to pick up royalties on really some of the absolute best development projects in the world, run by very large, prominent companies. And that opportunity only was available to us because nobody cared about copper and nickel royalties. Everybody was focused on gold and silver. And when you look at how well some of the precious metals royalty companies have done, like Franco and Wheaton, phenomenal companies, everybody was trying to replicate them on the gold side. So meanwhile, the royalties in some of the world's best copper nickel mines were lying there available. So we took the opportunity while we could. And the royalties we have, say Taca Taca, which is First Quantum's next main project over in Argentina, one of the world's largest copper projects. Nueva Union, which is Teck and Newmont's joint venture over in Chile, also one of the world's most prominent copper projects. And then we have a royalty. We just picked up a royalty on the Vizcachitas project over in Chile, which is one of the largest copper development projects in the Americas, a couple billion tons of resource. We think it's going to be a great candidate to be built in this next cycle. The Dumont project in nickel, which is the world's second largest nickel reserve. It's fully permitted, located in Quebec. We think that's very much going to be the future of the North American automotive supply chain, given the demand for nickel. And Quebec is obviously a very supportive province as far as encouraging all kinds of investment. The Twin Metals project in Minnesota, that's basically your largest copper nickel camp in the U.S. 34% of all U.S. copper reserves, 95% of all U.S. nickel reserves are in the Duluth complex. So that's probably more of a long-term play, given that permitting there might take a while. But I think when you have a camp like that, you got to find a way to get in there. And then we also have an exploration property, which is still early, but it's Rio Tinto, one of those great mining companies over in Saskatchewan. And they've got a project called Janus Lake, which they're exploring quite aggressively on the copper side, actually doing diamond drilling right now. So, we thought it had some good long-term fundamentals. Obviously, they got to find the material that we're hoping they find. So, but it's a continuation of our theme that we look for things that are doable by large, capable companies, because they're the ones who really make a difference.
So those are 6 projects that you're in right now. Are you continuing to seek out other opportunities as well?
Absolutely. I mean, listen, I think the attraction in the royalty model is that an investor can own a diversified portfolio of high quality properties with no cost commitments. Yeah, so that's, I think, as attractive a proposition as can possibly exist here. So absolutely, we're looking for more, but it has to fit the quality theme. We haven't really been buying anything. We've really bought things that we think have a real place in a supply chain. Clearly, there's more out there that we want to add, and we'll keep adding selectively, sort of to give our investors really the best opportunity to invest out of any vehicle.
So based on where we're at right now in these commodities in this market, why is this a good time for people to be investing in your royalty program?
Well, I think the way we see this, this is not a temporary trend. I think we're literally standing at the dawn of this entire thing. I think everybody's, or I would say a critical mass of people at this point understands that this is going to happen. And it's probably going to be the most significant macroeconomic change that we're going to see in our lifetimes. And literally, it's not just about energy. It's like literally the whole way the world works and operates is going to change, I think, pretty fundamentally. And what we've tried to do is not have sort of a temporary investment. We wanted to have something that was super solid and fundamental and really best in class. That would really be a great way to participate in this multi-decade trend. And so, I can't tell somebody when to invest and how to invest, but I can certainly tell them how we think about it. And we think this is going to be, a way to participate in the most solid projects, most important projects that'll be built to enable this whole thing. When you think about all the trillions of dollars that will have to be spent here to enable all of these ambitions, these are the initial irreplaceable building blocks you have to go through first. And there is really no replacement for them right now. And when you actually look at how many mines are going to be responsible for this whole movement, it's actually not that many mines, relatively speaking.
Right.
It's going to be these mega mines. They're going to be driving this whole thing. And how many people can build them? Not that many people can build them because it's extremely complex. It's extremely capital intensive. There's a reason why juniors in copper and nickel have struggled so much. The financing requirements are just too big. The technical complexity is just too large. This isn't meant for small companies to have a crack at. This is so when you look at the projects, that we've bought, these are not small company projects. These are large company projects because they are the ones who have the capability. They're the ones who have the wherewithal. They're the ones who have the motivation, and we'll be benefiting from all of that work as royalty holders. And our capital commitments are already finished. So I think it's as exciting and the conservative way to invest in this as you can find.
Well, I agree with you. I could talk to you for hours about this because I think you really are in that very unique position, sort of in the crosshair of history. Unfortunately, we're out of time, so I'm hoping that you'll come back and have a future conversation with us to tell us how it's going. Thank you very much for joining us on this episode of INN CEO Talks.
I'd love to. Thank you very much.